Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to Bluegrass Home Garden TV. Joanna is with us once again, and we're actually at Dwayne's house, so get ready. I'm sure that you're going to hear him chiming in from the background. But we're kind of getting close to that season of what I call Americana, which is, you know, everything from Labor Day to Labor Day. Let's just go all red, white, and blue. And they have been gracious enough to kind of really show us kind of the potential of what you can do with like a patio, front entryway, and this is fun. So she's gonna show us a lot of different stuff and different ways to kind of spruce up your entryway.
Well, one of the things that I love to do is these, and they are by far my favorite annual, is this geranium, and make up some nice containers at your front that we can just pull out and plant some fresh flowers if you like, but make it easy, no watering. Make yourself one of these containers or two.
Yeah, I love this too because, you know, if they're covered and not getting too much sun so they wouldn't like wash out, you know,
exactly,
a little bit light. I like this because you don't have to deadhead, as they would say in the gardening business, these as they, you know, die. Real geraniums, you do.
Oh, absolutely.
They start to look kind of puny. So, I mean, if we're going to have something fabulous like this at the front door, I want it to look good all the time.
Right. Absolutely.
So we'll be back here in just a few. We'll kind of walk through some of the, you know, things you're going to need if you want to do this at home, and we'll get started. So stay tuned. Hi, everyone. Jimmy McKinney, the Skinny, is with us again of J&R Construction, and I know some people might think that my enthusiasm on certain projects and things is manufactured for television purposes, but it is not. I am so excited about this tile and this color palette. Don't get me wrong, I love the clean white and the black, but this is so refreshing to see color.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you walk into a, you know, an
almost
ocean.
like a mermaid. Yes, yes, I'm getting mermaid vibes in here.
Yeah, it is. You know, and that's what each design, each project is different. You know, I was telling somebody the other day that there's not one project in 20 years that we've been doing this that it cost exactly the same. You know, because everybody's style is different, every measurement is different. You know, it's. I love this business just because, you know, you're renovating and it's not a cookie cutter type project and everything is different, and you get to work with a designer, you know, an interior designer, as opposed to just, you know, hey, figure this out on your own. So when you do that, you really get to pull a lot of things together, thinking about furniture and placements and, you know, bedding, curtains, all that stuff to kind of bring it all together. So
this is you're in the owner's suite over here. You've redone the flooring, you're doing paint to kind of complement all of this space in here, but this is a bathroom remodel, and there's actually going to be a tub in this one.
There's going to be a tub there. You see we did an inset recessed shelf there. There's a couple in here in the shower as well. Yeah. Again, another curbless shower, transitions seamlessly through.
Great as we age in place.
Yep, and all of our tile work is a lifetime warranty. We register that with the homeowner, and so 5-year warranty with all of our work that we have. But yeah, this is large ceilings, so we took the tile really high up, and but yeah, it's going to be a neat space.
And we're going to go in here because we're going to talk about what could be a possible issue when people are selecting floor.
Yes.
So Jimmy, you were telling me that when they first saw this flooring, it kind of alluded itself to be more of one color palette than the other.
Yeah, so in the showroom, you've only got so many pieces that you can see in a sample or that's on the floor to look at, and unfortunately, they had more of the lighter color boards in that sample. So once we get everything down and got it laid out, there's, of course, this is a mix and match of light and dark. There were a few dark boards in the sample, but they didn't realize there would be that many. So what we're doing is we're coming back where we picked out a few boards that we want to replace, and we're going to pull the lighter boards out of the box and replace. I mean, that's just something that, you know, you try to think of everything, but that's why I love this business. There's always something different and something challenging, and just, you know, when something happens, you take care of it and move on. So
yeah, and I can't forget to mention you're also working on the laundry room.
We are working on the laundry room, and as you'll see too, we transitioned between different flooring types to get into these spaces. We've got we have to walk through hardwood, carpeted stairs, and things. So you'll see the different floor protections. We use 3 different floor protections depending on the application. So it's very important to keep everything protected. And you'll see how we've protected the handrail as we go down as well.
All right, how can they get a hold of you?
Call the office 225-0162 or go to jrcsi.com. Simple Google J&R Construction, you'll find us there as well. And we're on all the social media. Check out some of our TikTok, it's pretty funny.
We've all seen it. A social media post or video where your first thought is that true? Unfortunately, misinformation comes in many forms, but there are tools to help you spot those red flags. That's why WKYT and our corporate company, Gray Television Group, are teaming up with MediaWise, a literary initiative for the nonprofit Pointer Institute. Learn how to navigate through the social media noise and identify factual information. Scan the QR code now to find out more and sign up for daily text messages to become MediaWise. Big storm or clear skies, WKYT First Alert Weather is alerting you first every weekday on Facebook Live. Brought to you by Fayette Heating and Air.
We are back. Okay, so Joe, we need a container.
These are called mache pots, and you can find them in all sizes.
Like paper mache?
Almost like a paper mache,
Okay.
yes.
I was wondering if that's what
because you could tear it actually.
Okay.
But anyway, they work really good for this. And again, we have our handy dandy brick of foam that we've put in there first. Into here, and then of course this is the lifesaver here. This stuff here sprays, but don't get too crazy with it because it expands.
I learned the hard way, and I also learned don't get it all over your hands.
Oh, don't get it on your definitely. I definitely use safety goggles, honestly, and your hands. But Goo Gone helps get it off. So we start with that.
And you got to let this set up for almost 24 hours. For me, that's
actually it's a little less than that.
Little less?
A little
Okay.
less, but definitely let it work because it works fantastic.
Okay.
And then once you get it like this, and I come over and I put some nice moss on it, cover it to kind of make
Love
it look
that.
nice and it looks real natural. And then we start to put in, and I always work from the outside in.
Okay.
It just makes it easier. And of course, I've got my little pick machine here, some sweet potato vine, and I'm typically, if I was at the shop, I would be gluing this. I think it works best when you glue it, and honestly, I have seen the wind blow things out of here. So that's another main reason why I glue it.
So when you say glue, you're still picking them?
You're picking it still with this a pick machine, and you dip it. I dip it in my hot glue.
Okay.
Melt it, and then I put it into the base, which is just this covered with this sheet moss that I use.
Now I'm going to ask you another question, and
Sure.
this is just because of some things that I've tried and stuff. So if you do by chance, and this is something that everybody has to take into account for where their front porch is, located in regards to how the wind goes through your property and stuff. If you get a lot of wind, outside of just gluing this, would it be advantageous to put some gravel or something in the base of this before you do all this, just to give it a little bit more weight?
I definitely have done that, and I tend to do that a lot. And actually, not just even gravel, but if I do like a window box, and which are much shallower, I tend to typically pour that quick concrete on the bottom. Then I put the foam, and then I'll do this spray foam in there, because then it's definitely got some weight to it and it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, because you don't want to invest the time and the money into this and then it just get
Absolutely. So
destroyed.
it works really nice, and the beauty of it, you don't have to worry, and especially where I live too, there's a lot of wind, and I've seen it completely blow things completely over. So yes, putting a little gravel in it, if you do have a lot of wind and all, makes it look, and works great efficiently, and it's not going to blow away on you.
All right, don't make it so heavy you can't get it out.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to let Joe continue to work, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Okay. Well, Christopher Gordon is with us once again of SprayNet of Lexington, and you all are in full swing. Everybody is all spring home improvement projects go.
We are so busy. So exterior season is in full swing. Brick staining, vinyl siding, the things that we're kind of famous for. But kitchens, like we are here today, are still like it's all year round. And so we're actually on site today at someone, I won't say whose, kitchen refinishing project. They were brave enough to let us kind of come in and see it halfway through the project. And where we are today is we are priming it and starting to paint. What happened yesterday was we came in first thing in the morning, we covered all the floors, made sure we can't damage our floors, drop paint.
Right.
And then we spent most of the day prep. That's what takes the most amount of time. So putting up all this masking, cleaning, we actually do a lot of cleaning. I can't have any contaminants between our coatings and your surfaces.
Right.
And then everything gets sanded, not like to the wood, to the bone, but like to scuff it up.
Yeah.
And then we primed. And then today we are going to be spraying our patented coating that we actually make ourselves, if you can believe that. And this is going to look like factory new and beautiful by tomorrow morning.
What color were these cabinets before?
So they were like a battleship gray, which is, you know, you don't see too much of that, like a blue gray. And the owner decided that that just wasn't what they wanted anymore. And so what we're going for now is going to be a Chantilly lace. So this is primer. It's just a nice white, but the Chantilly lace is going to be a nice warm white, just like a little warmth to it. It's a really nice. It's very popular.
Yeah, and coming in, I actually got to see a little bit of the process where you've taken all of the doors and coverings off to spray them out there.
That's right. So as you can see, there's no doors, there's no drawers. Where are they? We take them off, and we actually have a separate, like, parallel process just for them. And we actually hang them. We do the same thing where we clean them and we sand them and we prime them, and then we spray our paint on them. It's really neat, and maybe in a minute we'll go out there and take a look at that too.
So now, something like this only takes a few days, right?
Yeah, so a small kitchen we can do in 2 days. And in a medium-sized kitchen like this, call it 2.5 days if we're caffeinated and everything's going right. Yeah.
So that's a great way though, like if you want instant gratification, this is about the quickest you can get a really big change in a space like this.
This is right. And when you change the color of your cabinets, it's just a dramatic transformation of the space.
All right, well, if people have questions, if they want to have you all come out, maybe look at doing this for them.
SprayNetLex.com, or you can call me, 859-533-2915.
WKYT rules winter.
And we know Kentucky weather can take a turn fast.
Whether it's rain, sleet, snow, or ice.
We're tracking it all, alerting you first, wherever you are.
So you have days to prepare. No surprises.
With accuracy you can plan on. This is why WKYT rules winter, and this is why we first alert.
The most trusted in Kentucky. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and the First Alert Weather Team. Only on WKYT.
Thanks for keeping it here. If you are just joining us here on Bluegrass Home Garden TV, Joe with House by JSD Design is with us. We're over actually at Dwayne's house. I thought he'd be just right behind the camera adding commentary for you all, but I think he's went inside for a little while. But we are working on trying to get some fantastic ideas for your front porch, entryway, and you know what I call the Americana season as you get close to Memorial Day all the way through Labor Day, just really making it look fantastic and inviting. And Joe is working on these that just kind of pop into these containers.
And yes, and another thing, one of the things I like to incorporate is to do something a little bit on the doors as well as to complement these pieces. And I've taken to show you just the most simplest ways is either a really pretty bow with multiple ribbons and these great sashes that I have just love. And
This is fantastic.
Decided to, once I put it on here, to fold a little piece up like that and give it a little bit more character.
Yeah.
But I love the simplicity of this, and I just think it goes a long way and complements these geranium containers just beautifully.
Well, I feel like you could use this in a lot of different ways. Like I have on the edge of my garage those lights and stuff. Like I've always wanted something there. I feel like you could work this. Probably.
Most definitely.
It won't wrap like that, but you could probably figure it out in some way. And then, like, if you got some really nice chairs.
And I even thought in the back of these rockers, how pretty would that not be?
Yeah, I mean,
just hanging very nice and loose on there, just tied gently. It could be a bow, it could be a sash, the way we've shown it here. But I think that it's got multiple uses to it.
I feel like I could get carried away with them because I love them so much. I feel like they could be everywhere at the house. So. But yeah, that's coming together pretty quickly.
We're starting to take quick shape here, and and the nice thing about this is don't be afraid. You can make it as full or just not so full with these geraniums, just according to whatever your containers require or size.
All right.
But it's so nice, I just pop them right in here. That's okay, we got plenty more. And cut them, again, pick them, fill it out as much as you can. I'm not going to make these as full as I did the ones here. And then, of course, this beautiful, this combination actually with the geraniums, the asparagus fern, and I don't know if many of you remember, but I tend to look at this with like spikes.
Okay.
Very, very typical. It's kind of like they've been around for a long, long, long time. It reminds me of my childhood, actually.
I love that.
But yes, this asparagus fern, anything drooping across the front, the sweet potato vine is beautiful. And then I like to come in and put a little bit of ivy in it.
Okay. We'll take a short break, let you kind of finish this up, and yeah, because we've got more coming your way.
Hi, Richard Weber here at Springhouse Gardens in Nicholasville, and we're talking about shade perennials today, and this is probably my go-to perennial for dry shade. So if you've got a garden that's that you're having trouble growing things in and it's shady and nothing seems to grow because you've got tree roots and all sorts of stuff, you might try this plant. It doesn't have a very pretty name. It's called barrenwort. Doesn't sound real good, but believe me, it is a workhorse in the shade garden. A nicer name is fairy wings or bishop's hat. So it's a really, really cool plant that's worth seeking out. And right now in the springtime is when we have our best selection of barrenworts. It's also called epimedium. If you want to look it up online, it's EPI, epimedium, like small, medium, and large. Epimedium is the Latin name. There are so many different varieties of this, but most people just come and say, well, I want one that has white flowers. I want one that has purple flowers. I want one that has amber flowers. And they're only going to be blooming for a relatively short time in early to mid-spring. So you pick them out for the color, but mainly for the foliage. This plant is probably 5 or 6 years old. And when you look at that, I mean, it's just a thick plant. It spreads slowly by runners. So when you see the prices on these guys, you might wonder, why is this such an expensive plant? It's because they grow very slowly. And it grows slowly in your garden as well. So if you're not in a big hurry, this might be a good plant for you. If you really want something that's going to cover quickly, you might either have to buy a bunch of them and put them close together, or just get something else. But dry shade, there's not too many choices. So most of these epimediums are going to grow anywhere from a foot. There are some newer ones that grow a little bit taller, and there's some that stay smaller. But 12 inches, 10 to 12 inches is generally what you're going to find in epimediums. Now, with these, a lot of them have smaller leaves, like this one, which is called lilify. Lilify is a really nice one with kind of purplish flowers on it. But this one here, that our co-host of our show might really like this one, because it's called Amber Queen. And it is one of the newer ones that has a bigger leaf, taller flowers. Look how these are going to be standing up almost 2 feet. And this one blooms sporadically throughout the summer as well. So if you want something that's going to give you a little more pizzazz, of course, her name has to be Amber Queen. So that one is one that's really, really good. And I like it because it's very airy and light and friendly, and just like Amber Canoy. So all of these epimediums, we try to keep at least some of them available throughout the season, but they're only going to be blooming during the spring, most of them. So if you have more questions, come over here and look under our shade pavilions out at Springhouse Gardens, 185 West Catnip Hill Road in Nicholasville. If you've never found us before, it's worth the drive out here to our location, but you can also follow along with us on Facebook and Instagram under Springhouse Gardens. You can call us at 859-224-1417. Until next time.
Hey, I'm Brittany with Comfort Master Heating and Air, and I'd like to share with you some tips on how to save you money and keep you cool this summer. The first part is to give us a call and get a maintenance scheduled so we can come out. We can make sure that your coils are clean on your outdoor. You're not going to have any drain issues in the indoor unit, which unfortunately we see a lot of leaks and the ceilings come down and it's a big mess, and you don't want to do that. When ACs are running, they create a lot of water, so we want to prevent that, and usually we can catch that before it happens. Another thing, while we're looking at your outdoor unit, we'll also look at the dirt and the leaves that are trapped around the coil. We want to make sure that that's all cleared off, which we'll do. One thing that you can do to help save your outdoor equipment is not to weed around the equipment, but to pull the weeds, because a lot of people accidentally nick their copper lines, and that's what's holding your refrigerant. And if that leaks out, then you don't have any cooling, and it's a costly repair. So give us a call if you have any other questions.
At home or on the go, stay informed with the WKYT News app. A must-have with push alerts for breaking news and weather. Plus, watch WKYT News live wherever you are. Download the WKYT News app today. Everyday Kentucky, weekdays at 9 a.m. on WKYT.
All right, so Joe and I were talking. Obviously, not many people have a pick machine at home, but with most of these, they're sturdy enough. If you've got the foam and everything, you could push them in and still utilize hot glue.
Exactly, and you can use a little bit, if you don't have a hot glue pan like I do, a little bit of hot glue gun done on a plate, dipped in here, especially if it's in a windy area, works remarkably well also. So you don't necessarily need this, so because it's a little bit of an investment.
Yeah, and you can take the floral pins and also kind of secure. I did that before I thought about the hot glue side and the pick machine. I would actually just go in and kind of like force it down in there to give it a little bit extra.
Right, exactly, that also works. But here's just pretty much already completed, and like I said, it all depends upon your size of your container, what side you want, and a lot of times when I make these, I mirror one another, but I like it to look pretty natural.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially for what we're doing, that red one, if you wanted to add a little white or a little purpley to it, blue they're beautiful.
I know, but I do love the simplicity of just the green and the red.
Exactly.
And then you're tying everything else, here on the door, and I know next time we're going to talk about all the other beautiful stuff that's going on here in this front porch. But now, I'm gonna tell on Dwayne a little bit. Hey. So like he's actually got some dirt in here, and you put those in. And this whole entire time I was thinking, you gotta like cover it all. But you're actually saying you would have people measure the opening.
Absolutely.
And then depending upon the size, adjust this.
Measure the opening and the depth, and a lot of these will come in different sizes, so you can get this to pretty much fit your pots. And if not, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of bubble wrap, and some moss over the top work nicely too.
Yeah, the moss is what I think is critical, just to kind of like hide whatever else is going on in that container.
Hides all the mechanics for you. It works very, very well.
All right, we'll be back here in just a few. Stay tuned. Well, Jimmy Nash is with us. If you remember, we were here before, probably back in January, looking at this house, and now we referenced it before. Now we're actually looking at the ground that's being broke today to make the barn-dominium.
Yeah, the barn-dominium. It's going to be so cool. It's I'll send you a rendering of it. It's kind of a modern barn, so it's going to be really nice. It's not the typical barn that you would see, but very modern, kind of contemporary looking. It's really nice. And then we'll have so this is its own 6 acres here, and we'll have a road that will come down and a bridge. And this pond that we put in, we'll be pumping water up to a creek that we're making, and then so water is always running through the 2 bridges and along the creek and back into the pond. So
how much planning does that take?
It takes a lot longer than you think, because you're building a bridge and you have to get the liners in and you have to get the elevations, and we got some waterfalls going down through there.
Come on now, you're speaking my language, Jimmy.
Yeah, it'd be like something you'd see at the gorge when you're hiking.
He knows me all too well. I'm like, wow, waterfalls, let's just stop.
You don't have to go out of town, you just come down, walk this, and do your TikToks on the creek side.
So what are you most excited about with this barn-dominium? I mean, because this is kind of like the first one, right?
Well, it is. So we're using a cedar cladding on it, and we're doing a vertical shiplap with it. So it's going to be different, and so that's kind of that modern look too. So we get to use a couple of different materials that we haven't used a whole lot, and then we have another home that we just started here that's going to have the vertical shiplap, but it's painted.
Okay.
So we're going to see more of that, and it's kind of something new out there that you'll be seeing more of it. part of our design.
And I'm just looking at the excavating work here. So does this have a basement? Because I mean, I know you can
It does,
do basements.
yeah. So the barn dominium has a full basement. It's 3,000 square feet, and the basement is 10 foot tall. So they'll put their tractors and stuff like that,
Nice.
and mowers and gators and all that stuff in the bottom area, and then the residents on top of it.
Yeah, I'm
It'll
just,
be cool.
I'm just jealous of the creek and the waterfalls.
Yeah, we'll get some good video, get some good TikTok of you when we get that finished up.
I don't even know what to say about that. You know, I love my waterfalls and creeks and all that stuff. So it would be heaven on earth to have it in my backyard.
Exactly.
So, kudos to them. And kudos to your team for being able to like.
Yeah, it's been
put all this
fun to kind
together.
of put it together, and it's kind of taking shape, and you have a vision for it. And
Yeah.
500 or 600 loads of dirt later, it starts looking like something. So.
All right. Well, what else is going on, and how can they get a hold of you? If they have questions?
So we've got. There's a couple of lots that people have bought in Serenity that have come up on the market. So, you know, we've doing 7 homes of the 18 lots. So if somebody is interested in a 5-acre lot, give us a call. We can kind of show you what those 2 lots are and how much they are and what could be built on them. And just give us a call, 859-621-8880 or jimmynashhomes.com.
We are almost out of time, but just as a reminder, Joe has given you a quick, great way to really make a pop of Americana right around your front door. So these are fantastic. And I love these because you can take this same concept. This is what I love about so much with what we do with you and Dwayne. You can take the concept and you can tweak it, make it your own, and apply it to any time of year. So this is something great that we could take the principle and do it for every season.
Exactly, and I do it. So this could turn into right into fall, and then of course Christmas, and then after Christmas we try to do a little wintry look, so your containers can always look beautiful all year round.
And again, you can't go wrong with a very simplistic boxwood wreath with just a really, really fabulous bow or
a sash.
Oh, the sash. So if you're seeing this and you want a sash, you better be calling them fast because I've already been talking to them. I got to get a couple. They've already said they've been selling, but they bought a bunch because we were going to show this on the show. So if you see this show, I'm telling you, I'd be getting online, calling them, doing whatever you got to do to grab one of these because they are fantastic and they feel so great. You can tell they're really, really great quality.
And exactly, and like I said, I just basically put this on and then I just turned it around, so it gives you a little bit more of that little accent, little touch right there with the blue.
All right, well, go online. Check them out, get on there, shop, and stop by the store, and we will see you next time.